Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into South Korea's waste management system. Now, I know what you're thinking. Trash? Really? But stick with me, because this is honestly a game changer. We're talking about a highly organized approach that completely flips the script on how we throw things away. It's a really fascinating look at daily habits and civic responsibility. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Did you know that in South Korea, you absolutely cannot just chuck all your garbage into one single bin like we do in most ordinary countries? I mean, think about your own house for a second. You finish dinner, maybe open a package, toss an old receipt, and boom, it all goes into the exact same trash can under the sink. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Well, South Korea completely tossed out that one bin catches all mentality.
To put that into perspective, consider the standard approach we're all pretty used to, the single bin. Sure, it's super convenient, but let's be real, it's basically chaos disguised as convenience. You've got wet food scraps tangling up with cardboard, glass shattering into plastic, it's a huge mess. But South Korea takes a totally different route called mandatory separation. And notice that key word there, mandatory. This isn't just some voluntary feel-good eco-trend for people who love the environment. It's a literal requirement for every single citizen. It forces everyone to actively manage their waste before it ever even leaves their front door. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing exactly how it breaks down in real life. There are 4 main categories you have to sort. First, food waste. And get this, you actually have to squeeze the excess moisture out of your dinner leftovers and put them into special government-mandated bags just for organics. Then you've got your plastics, your paper, and your glass bottles. Each of those goes into its own completely separate collection. It's like a giant daily puzzle. You literally can't just scrape your plate into the general trash. It takes a ton of conscious effort and civic discipline from every household every single day.
But, you might be wondering what happens if someone just doesn't feel like doing it. Well, this system isn't running on the honor system. There are real tangible consequences. If you toss a glass bottle into the plastic bin or carelessly mix your food in with your paper waste, you're getting slapped with a fine. And those fines can definitely sting your wallet. So actually, scratch the idea of this being a gentle nudge from the local government. This is strict law. They've drawn a very clear line for civic behavior, and they back it up with strict enforcement to make sure absolutely everyone complies.
So the crucial point is, what is the ultimate payoff for all this daily hassle and strict enforcement? Well, it drives 2 absolutely massive outcomes. First, it keeps the environment remarkably clean. And second, it vastly improves their recycling efforts because everyday citizens are doing the hard work of cleanly separating the materials right at the source. The downstream recycling process becomes incredibly efficient. The processing plants don't have to waste tons of energy and money separating ruined, contaminated materials. Instead, that meticulous effort at the household level translates directly into a huge environmental victory.
And this brilliantly illustrates the big picture result of all that micro-level effort. South Korea is officially counted among the cleanest countries in the entire world. That is a massive achievement. And it's no happy coincidence for sure. It is the direct result of mandatory separation, strict enforcement, and the daily, unwavering discipline of millions of people properly sorting the whole shebang: food waste, plastics, paper, and glass. They've practically proven that when you combine deep civic duty with strict organization, you yield phenomenal, world-class results. Which brings us to a really important, thought-provoking question to leave you with today. Do you think this system should be implemented in other countries too? I want you to genuinely reflect on that. Look at the benefits we've covered: the vastly improved recycling, the incredibly clean environment. Could your own community handle a mandatory system like this? Would people be willing to meticulously separate their waste every single day, especially if there were strict fines waiting for getting it wrong? It's a fascinating question about habit and real environmental action. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking these big questions, and I'll